In life, we all face moments when others try to belittle us. You know those moments. When someone cracks a joke at your expense or makes a comment that leaves you feeling small. It might happen during a meeting or even over dinner. In those moments, we often wonder, why me? Why do they have to do this? Here's the truth. It's not about you, it's about them. And what you choose to do with it will shape your response, your self-respect, and ultimately, your life. Let's dive into why people humiliate others and how you can rise above it with the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Reason 1. They sense weakness. Some people, like predators, watch and wait for an opportunity. They test boundaries, looking for signs of weakness. The moment they sense hesitation or doubt in you, they pounce. A colleague once made a cutting remark. Maybe this is a little advanced for you, with a smirk. At first, I laughed it off because others did, but every time I said nothing, it got worse. It wasn't an accident. They were testing how much I'd tolerate. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. You can't control what others say, but you control your response. You choose whether you let their words define you or whether you rise above them. If you don't respect yourself, no one else will. Tolerating humiliation invites more of it. You need to draw a clear boundary. If someone disrespects you, stand your ground with quiet strength. It's not about confrontation, but about asserting your dignity. Silence speaks volumes when you hold your ground. Reason 2. They want control. Humiliation is often a tool for control. When someone tries to put you down, it's not about you. It's about making themselves feel bigger by making you feel smaller. They might mock your idea in front of others, or make a sarcastic comment designed to make you doubt yourself. Once, a colleague ridiculed an idea I presented in a meeting. Her comment was designed to make me feel insecure. For a moment, I considered defending myself. But I remembered what Marcus Aurelius said. You have power over your mind, not outside events. In that moment, I didn't react to her. I chose not to let her words control how I felt. People who use humiliation as a weapon are often the ones struggling with their own insecurities. They try to feel strong by tearing others down. When you refuse to let their words affect you, their power over you dissolves. You can't be humiliated if you don't believe the lie that you're inferior. Reason 3. They're envious. Envy is a powerful motivator. Some people try to humiliate you because they envy what you have. Your success, your confidence, your achievements. They tear you down, not because they see you as weak, but because your strength makes them feel inadequate. The ancient philosopher Seneca understood this well. He said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Some people can't stand to see you succeed because it highlights their own lack. Instead of rising to meet your standard, they try to bring you down to make themselves feel better. People like this often engage in what's called malicious envy. They want to see you stumble because your success is a painful reminder of their own unfulfilled potential. The key is to stand tall. When you succeed, you give others a chance to rise with you. When they try to humiliate you, don't shrink. Stand in your light and let them face their own insecurities. Reason 4. You haven't set boundaries. If you don't define your boundaries, others will. People will push to see how much you'll tolerate. They'll make jokes at your expense, disregard your time, or treat you with disrespect. And if you remain silent, they'll assume that your silence means acceptance. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Setting boundaries often comes with a social cost. People may misunderstand you or label you as difficult. But peace comes when you respect yourself enough to say no when needed. One of the best examples of boundary setting comes from Oprah Winfrey. Early in her career, she was told she didn't belong on TV because of her appearance and her voice. She could have conformed to their expectations, but she didn't. She stood firm, and that boundary made her who she is today. When you set boundaries, people either learn to respect them or they leave. But either way, you gain peace and strength. Reason 5. They seek an audience. Humiliation rarely happens in private. It thrives on an audience. Bullies need a crowd to amplify their power. They want others to laugh, to stay silent, or to cheer them on, because their cruelty feels more powerful when witnessed. But the truth is, their power is an illusion. The crowd might laugh, but that doesn't mean they're on the bully's side. Often, they're just scared of becoming the next target. Marcus Aurelius understood that true strength doesn't come from the approval of the crowd. He wrote, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." The crowd's opinion is hollow. And when someone tries to humiliate you in front of others, remember this: their power is built on fear, not wisdom. You don't need the crowd's approval to know your worth. Stand firm in your dignity, even if you're standing alone. Reason 6. They sense you don't know your worth. Perhaps the most painful reason people humiliate others is because they can sense that you don't know your own worth. When you're uncertain about who you are, others can exploit that vulnerability. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom comes from knowing who you are and being unshaken by the opinions or actions of others. Think of Eleanor Roosevelt. She grew up in a family that constantly belittled her. She was mocked for her appearance, her intelligence, and her personality. But instead of shrinking, she grew stronger. She understood her worth and never let anyone make her feel small. When you know your worth, insults and mockery don't stick. They just bounce off because they have no place to land. The world may try to humiliate you, but it can only succeed if you let it. When you stand firm in your self-respect, you become untouchable. The Stoic path to strength. So, why do people humiliate others? Sometimes it's out of weakness, envy, or a desire for control. Other times, it's because they know you haven't yet realized your own worth. But here's the good news. You have the power to rise above it. By embracing Stoic wisdom, you can protect your dignity. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When you choose not to let the words or actions of others define you, you free yourself. You become someone who walks through life unshaken, unbothered by the noise around you. You stand tall, not because the world is kind, but because you have mastered your response to it. You're not here to dim yourself for anyone. You're here to shine your light, to stand firm in your truth, and to live with dignity, no matter who tries to bring you down. When you do, those who once tried to humiliate you will lose interest, and you'll find a peace that comes from knowing your worth, no matter what the world says.